Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
It's all about healing peace within. How fitting for the new year that is upon us. Jennifer Farrar joining us here to talk more about her company and what she does using different energetic modalities to help you achieve transformation and to really overall gain a better, more balanced, healthier life. Hi, welcome back.
I thank you. That's I'm going to steal that because that's such a really great way of putting it.
Well, I don't, it just rolled off my tongue, but there's a lot of different ways we could describe you and the work that you're doing. And I know you're helping so many. HealingPeaceWithin.com is the website. And just tell us a little bit in general what you do for new time listeners out there.
Well, I help you shift your energy. I mean, that's what it is in a nutshell, so that you can make different choices for your life, so that you have choices, because most of us don't realize we can choose something different. And that's what we're going to talk about today is ways to help you choose differently, because what's going on for most people, what's showing up in your life is what's going on in your subconscious. And that's what I help people do. I help people shift and change their subconscious to make those changes easier. And I'm going to give you an example because this just happened last night with one of my clients.
Sure.
And I love her dearly. She's such a go-getter. And but there was something that she's like, I want to make sure I am focusing on my life's path. And what it boiled down to, after talking about it for about 10, 15 minutes, what it boiled down to was how her mother treated her.
Wow.
And what she believed she could. Her mother just kind of passed her around to different family members. And in that passing around, that little girl, when that happened, decided she wasn't worthy. She wasn't worthy of her mother's love, therefore she wasn't worthy of anything. And that's how things kind of happen in our little children's brain. We don't have the capacity, we don't have the ability when we're young to be able to say, well, that doesn't make any sense. We just know that how our parents should behave, how our parents should love us, but that doesn't always happen. So she was struggling with that. And it wasn't that she was struggling that I can't make any money doing my life's path, because that's also a common belief.
Yeah.
It was, am I doing it? Am I on the right path? Is this what I should be doing? And yeah, it was, because she's also a coach and helping people like me just in different ways. And we need more people like this, helping other people shine their light. And once we worked through some of the pain, just internal pain, the heart sick pain about her mother not loving her enough or not loving her at all.
Yeah.
She was able to let go of the doubt and find clarity. I mean, all I did was help her release the energy she needed to release. She's the one was then able to put the pieces together and how she's going to do what she's going to do and what she's going to do with her clients and how everything was going to come about. I didn't coach her on that because those were her choices, but she wasn't able to make those choices until we uncovered the hurt and the pain, and that the voices we have in our brain telling us we can't have, can't be, can't do. And that's what I do, is I help you figure all that out so that you can move past it and choose for yourself.
Beautiful. I love, wow. Wow. That's beautifully said. And how you're helping so many. Oh my goodness. Wow. And that's one of many. You've been doing this for how long?
Well, I've been a Reiki master since 1999, 2000. I've been doing the transformational work, probably since 2010. And because I learned new tools.
Mm-hmm.
And I learned the tools because I needed them.
Yep.
Every time I came across a block, I was like, help me. Sometimes
Mm-hmm.
I was literally like the little kid on the side of her bed going, I need help.
Yep.
And something would show up. Literally, something or someone would show up to help me get past. And then I was like, ooh, this is really cool. I need to learn this. And I would learn it. Whether it was emotional freedom technique, which is another technique that I do.
Mm-hmm.
It's not on my website though. Um, or access consciousness bars. And we're going to talk about other tools in access consciousness, or theta healing, which is one of the main tools that I use to help you release energy and shift and change your beliefs. So everything that I know happened because I was going through something and I needed help. So when all of this showed up, it was,
Ah.
this is what I need to be doing.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I need to be doing because I know how I felt. I know what my life was like. Excuse me, and I didn't like it. So I needed something and I needed help to change. And when I realized I could help other people change and shift and grow and create what they want to create in their life, it was like a no-brainer to me. It was like the light bulb went off. This is what I'm supposed to be doing.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's pretty amazing.
Beautiful. Well, thank you for sharing this. And by the way, healingpeacewithin.com, that's the website. Jennifer Farrar here on the line talking today, whether you're here on the radio or on the Zoom. But we're talking about the work she does, obviously, that can help you heal. What else is on the agenda for today, Jennifer? Just to
Oh,
confirm, I didn't get specific notes for you today. Is that true?
Prue, you did not.
All right, good. Just making sure because I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't have the agenda, but I just want to make
No,
sure. I always ask before and I forgot. I'm sorry.
well, I'm still a day behind because Christmas started on a Monday this year.
Yeah,
It feels like it should be Sunday, so I feel like I'm on a Wednesday rather than a Thursday.
so
Uh,
true.
and then of course we have the new year coming up, and that I'm also a day behind there. And so today, what I'd like to talk about is and walk you through a couple of exercises. These are very simple tools. These are a part of Access Consciousness. The Access Consciousness bars, that's the in-person healing modality. Oh,
Hmm.
I lost your feed.
I don't know why that happens.
Uh,
I didn't touch anything. No, it happens sometimes.
Oh,
Are
well,
you here? I'm here.
there you
Okay, go
go.
ahead.
There you are.
It's not the first time. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Technical difficulties. That's okay. I totally get it. So these are verbal processes. So these are things that you can use on yourself to help you shift the energy or your emotions, or even a limiting belief when you come across that, and that you can do on your own. And the first one I'd like to talk about is, who does this belong to? And it's
Mhm.
really asking yourself a question, not coming to a conclusion, but asking yourself a question. Who does this belong to? So, what I'd like you to try for 7 days, just 7 days,
Okay.
for every thought, every emotion, every time you're triggered. Triggered means, ooh, this really either makes me mad or it makes me sad, or you get some sort of reaction that you don't really want. You're not in a neutral place.
Mm-hmm.
And ask. It's a very simple question. Who does this belong to? You're not really looking for an answer. That's the trick in these two
Mm-hmm.
tools. Because when you come to a conclusion, the energy stops. And what we want to do is open up that energy, open up the expansiveness that I know as a human being we can obtain and attain. So the trick is, whenever you have an emotion, whenever you have a thought, because we have thousands of thoughts a day, not even aware of it. And
Mm-hmm.
when you start asking yourself, well, who does this belong to? Well, why am I so mad?
Yeah.
Well, is this mine? Who does this belong to? And when you say, is this mine? Who does it belong to? What comes next, though, is another tool called return it to sender. And we want to add with love and consciousness attached. So it's return it to, who does this belong to? Is this mine? Because you're asking yourself, is this mine? Do I need to do anything about this? Because you're taking it from the unconscious, the subconscious, to the conscious mind, going, do I need to figure this out? What do I need to do with this? And then return it to sender with love and consciousness attached.
Mm-hmm.
For every thought, every emotion, every trigger, for 7 days, and see what shows up in your life. What's going to happen is you're going to realize that a lot of what we're reacting to is not even ours. We think it's ours because we're feeling it or we're thinking it. But when you start returning everything to sender with love and consciousness attached, what do I mean by sender? The person or energy that brought this to you that you think is yours.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So, and I'm going to give you an example of how that works. So this is when I had two beautiful Akitas that I walk them every day, twice a day, because big dogs need walking. And it's kind of hard to picture now because we're in the depth of winter, but picture a beautiful spring sunny day, 70 degrees, there's a breeze, and I'm walking my dogs. I loved walking my dogs, and my neighbors loved me walking my dogs because they would come out and say hi and pet the dogs. And I'm walking along, I'm looking at the trees, and everything's budding again, and flowers are starting to bloom, and the birds are back, and they're singing, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is such a beautiful day. What a great day to take a walk in the neighborhood. And I mean, this was sunshiny, everything was sunshine and rainbows. And then all of a sudden my thoughts turned dark and I got mad. I got mad at my boss. I got mad at my husband. And I'm like, what? And
Mm-hmm.
I had no reason to be mad at any one of them. They like I hadn't seen them. My husband had already gone to work. I hadn't even gone into work yet, and I had no reason whatsoever to be mad at these people. And I started creating scenarios in my brain to be mad at them and
Ah, I hear
things
you.
that didn't happen. And I turned the corner. We're talking 10 yards. I turned the corner because I had walked past two apartment buildings, and I'd walked past them, and that's where my thoughts turned dark. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with living in an apartment building. That's not the issue. And I turned the corner, and the sun came back out again, and the birds
Mm-hmm.
started chirping, and I was like, wait a minute, what just happened there? and, and I went, I used the tools. I went, is this mine? Were those thoughts really mine? What energy was I absorbing that was creating all of those thoughts in my brain? I mean, I was mad. I wanted to take it out on everybody. And then I went, okay, stop. Is this mine?
Yeah.
And the answer is no. And how I know that is because it was very heavy.
Yeah.
The energy felt heavier. And that's also another tool I'll talk about in a minute. And then I just said, return it to sender with love and consciousness attached. Return it to sender. And I said that for about a minute or so. And anyone looking at me looking out their window probably was like, oh my God, this crazy person is talking to herself. And it's like, return it to sender with love and consciousness attached. And eventually the energy lightened up and I was happy again.
Mm-hmm.
What I found out later was like a week or so later by one of my neighbors is that in one of the apartment buildings, someone was violently hurt, and because of drug dealing. And I didn't know
Mm.
that. If you looked at the apartment building, it looked like just a regular apartment building. And then the police had been there and had taken this person to the hospital. And so there was a lot of violence that happened in that apartment building. So what that does is it creates a lot of negative energy. And I was picking up on that energy without even really knowing it.
Mm-hmm.
So that was not my energy. Using that tool. So if you're angry, if you get frustrated very easy, if things aren't going your way and you feel like, oh my God, I just can't catch a break.
Yep.
What is going on? Ask these questions. Is this mine? More often than not, like 99% of the time, it's not going to be you. It's going to be energy we're absorbing. Return it to sender with love and consciousness attached. And you just keep saying that until you feel a shift. And you're going to feel a shift. Sometimes it may take practice. That's
Yep.
why I say do it for 7 days and see what happens
Mm-hmm.
and see how much more expansive you feel.
Mm.
Yeah. How cool is that? I mean, this is so simple that things that we can do on our own. Yes, do I want you to hire me? Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
But I also want you to be able to shift and change yourself and transform yourself. Because that's also what I do is I teach people how to do that.
Yeah.
The other tool, this is one of my favorites because it's just one of my favorites because there's so much possibility. So much possibility out there. And I just literally like an hour ago taught this to one of my clients because she kept saying, well, it's just not possible. It's just not possible. Whatever she was trying to create, it's just not possible. And I'm like, okay, let's stop. Let's look at why you believe it's not possible. I think she was trying to learn how to earn a certain amount of money in her business. And so we went through that and helped figure out why it was not what she believed was not possible and release that,
Mm-hmm.
change the belief. And then I said, try this. Try this. Ask yourself, again, you're asking your question because when you ask a question, first of all, you're making a demand of the universe and the universe has to respond to you. It's the law of reciprocity. Ask a question, you're going to get an answer. Ask this. What else is possible?
Mm-hmm.
What else is possible here? In every situation, what else is possible here? Because she kept going, it's not possible. It's not possible. Or when something's not working out, what else is possible here?
Yeah.
You're not really looking for an answer. An answer is going to come, but you're not really looking for it. Because as I said before, when we come to a conclusion, when we get an answer, the energy stops. We want to keep it going. We want to keep the expansion going.
Mm-hmm.
So what else is possible? And I'm going to give you an example of how that works because I love this example. So I help out every year. My job, I work with a charity called Help a Heart. It's a Midwest charity that provides direct support to families in the hospital who have children in the hospital with heart defects.
Mm.
I know the founder,
Oh.
and her son was
Oh.
born with a heart defect, and so she went through that process, that healing process. Her son's now graduated high school, but most of these children with this particular heart defect pass away. And every year we have a silent auction, and it's
Mm-hmm.
big. Between anywhere from 200 to 500 people show up. And my job is to feed people. I don't cook it, but I make sure everything is fed. Everyone is fed, and I take care of this. We have a soda bar, and I
Ah,
take care of the food and drink, and then the cleanup. So that's my contribution. And I was asked one year to get donations for the silent auction in the Iowa City area, because the University of Iowa
oh, I'm
hospitals and clinics.
flashing.
I
Mm-hmm.
know.
Yeah, something's not right. My goodness, I'm so sorry. I know you noticed that, but that's really weird. I'm just gonna film that because that shouldn't be happening. All right. I'm gonna shut my
Okay.
camera on and off one sec just to see if that fixes it for now.
For
N-
now. That's
Nope.
okay. Technical
Wow, they're
difficulty. Oh,
channeling
you're
some weird
still
energy today.
there. Christmas, New Year's, lots of energy going on.
Yes.
You can just stay off if you want. I mean, I can hear you. There you
Good,
go.
good, good.
Perfect. Perfect. So I was asked to get donations, and everyone said yes, because
Mm-hmm.
they knew the Children's Hospital here in Iowa City is a major trauma center in Iowa. And they're like, yeah, absolutely. What do you need? I mean, I had one comic book store just, he's like, let me go in the back. And he gave me this big box of comic books and for kids. And oh my God, they loved that. And other places gave me jewelry and so I go into, literally it's across the street from my office. I go into this new gym. It had been built probably like a couple of years before, and I knew the owner, and it's literally maybe a 10-minute drive to the university hospitals and to the children's hospital.
Okay.
And I walk in and the owner's not there. And I said,
Oh,
is there anyone here that can make a decision about a donation? And so the marketing director comes out and she's like, I hand her the tax deduction letter from the IRS. I hand her the letter from the charity. And she's like, no, I'm just not feeling it. And I'm like, these are kids. You can't, what I was looking for was just a couple day passes.
mm-hmm.
And in my head, I'm like, what else is possible? What else is, as she's talking to me about no, telling me no, I'm saying what else is possible in my head. And then I hear just another voice saying, ask for a tour. There's a beautiful new facility. She's telling me all about these machines. I have no clue what she's talking about, but in my head, I'm going, what else is possible? She's all excited about the tour because she's thinking maybe I will sign up and become a member. And at the end of the tour, I'm still saying, what else is possible?
Yeah.
And I tell her your story. And I'm like, what story? I don't go to a gym. And tell her your story. And I went, oh, well, a year prior to that, my younger brother had a stroke,
Ah,
and his brain doctor said someone needs to be with him 24/7. A family member needs to be with him 24/7, and that fell to me. And
mm-hmm.
so I was in the hospital with him through his recovery, through all of the testing, through his physical therapy and occupational therapy. So I was in the hospital with him for about 2.5, 3 months.
Wow.
And I just said, it would have been nice to have a place to go exercise, because there was no place for me as a family member to be able to do that.
Yep.
And she looks at me and she says, she does this, gives me the finger. Wait a minute. And she goes into her office and she comes back with like 10-day passes, a week pass, a month pass. And she goes, I know the director of the children's hospital.
Ah,
I never once thought of marketing our gym to the hospitals and clinics.
oh,
So asking what else is possible and continuing to ask what else is possible opened up enough energy and opened up enough expansion to be able to give her the idea. And I got my donation.
wow.
And that donation contributed to some families, some Iowa families, we're in Nebraska now too. So
Mhm.
some Iowa families able to stay with their children, able
Yep.
to pay their mortgage, able to pay a car payment, because that's what the charity does.
Got it.
So how awesome is that? So those tools can help you shift your energy no matter what situation you're in.
Got
How
it.
cool is that?
It is. And I apologize, but we're out of time.
Oh no, I talk a lot.
Oh, I'm sorry, but it's good talk. How do we reach you?
You can reach me at healingpeacewithin.com. That's my website. Facebook, Healing Peace Within. Instagram, Healing Peace Within. LinkedIn, I'm under Jennifer Farrar. I can't remember where else I'm at. Pretty much all the socials I'm on.
Perfect. Well, thank you. It's always a pleasure having you, Jennifer Farrar and Healing Peace Within.
Well,
If
thank
anyone has
you.
any questions, reach out, right? She's an open book.
Mhm. Yeah, I'm here to help.
She's here to serve. Well, Happy New Year to you and looking forward to seeing you in the new year.
See you next week.
All right. Sounds good. I'll see you next year.
Oh, yes, next
Got
year
it, got
too.
it, got it. All right. Thank you so much.
All right.
My
Bye-bye.
cheesy, corny line. I love using it. Bye, Jennifer.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
Mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house. And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.